Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Bettendorf. City Council meeting today is Tuesday, June 21st, 2022 at 7 o'clock p.m. We have a packed house for a lot of cool things that we're going to do tonight. Thank you all for being here. Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Adamson.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
Connors.
Here.
Nauman.
Here.
Sexer.
Here.
Baden.
Unmute, Frank. We did hear you before.
Here.
Webster.
Here.
Thank you all for being here. Now, if you could all rise, remove any caps or headdresses you may have, and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Remain standing thereafter for our invocation given by Bettendorf Police Chaplain and Reverend of Lourdes Catholic Church, Father Jason Crossan. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remain standing. Father Crossan, please.
Good and gracious God, as we gather this evening, we ask that you bless all of us gathered, leaders, citizens, and servicemen and women who provide safety to our community. We ask that you continue to bless us in all of our efforts as we live and grow in being and in grace. Be with us this evening. Help us to always make good decisions for the benefit of one another. And we ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Father.
Thank you, Father. All right, we have a couple of three really cool things we get to do right off the bat. And for our first one, I'd like to introduce Chief Knorik, who's going to introduce to you our new firefighters I had the pleasure of swearing in this afternoon.
Have Smith and Ryan and Xavier come forward.
I'll go this way then.
I figure maybe the microphone would catch you this way.
Perfect.
Mitch, Ryan, and Xavier started late last week, and they were sworn in this afternoon. Just a little bit brief information about each one of them. Mitch was one of our resident volunteer firefighters up until October or so of last year when he went to Muscatine. He was on our list, but they got to him first, but we stole him back, so we're glad to have him back. And he's an EMT with the department. Did you complete paramedic training? Or you just, no, okay. He grew up in Waterloo and has a fire science degree through Kirkwood. And then Ryan on the end started the day after Mitch. We have to establish seniority, and so they came in a day apart. And Ryan comes to us from the Clinton Fire Department. He has actually been a firefighter for a number of years, since 2011 with Clinton, correct? And then Comanche Fire Department as a volunteer before that. And he's a paramedic, and we're happy to have him join us. He actually was promoted last October and takes is basically starting at the beginning with us, but we're excited to have him here, and all three of you. Xavier comes to us in the middle here from Medic EMS, and he still works there part-time. He just completed paramedic school and will be taking certification test shortly, and is happy to be on board. So we're happy to have them. With these personnel, we're one step closer to having full staffing at our Surrey Heights Fire Station. As I mentioned earlier during our ceremony earlier today, our call volume has been increasing every year, and we had a record number of calls last year, which was about 8.6% above the previous year, and we're roughly 260 calls ahead of our pace last year right now. So, these personnel help us to respond and take care of the needs of the community as well as visitors. And we're happy to have them on board, and thank you, council and the mayor, for your work for helping us on
Mitch McFarland, Ryan Killeen, and Xavier Scritchfield, our three new firefighters. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining your work family, many of whom are here to support you again. Thanks, gentlemen.
Mayor, get in there.
Thank you, Chief Nork. Now, we'll call up Chief Kimball, who's got some promotions to handle for us.
Thank you, Mayor.
Our Chief of Police, Chief Kimball.
Thanks. Welcome, everyone. If I could have all four of you come on up. We're gonna do this all at once, so you're not up here all by yourself. So this evening, I just want to take some time to acknowledge the promotions of four promotions, which that's a pretty big deal at one time. I see retired Lieutenant John Majeski way in the back. It's his fault that we have these promotions along with the City Council's support and approval for a new administrative lieutenant position. So that's why you're seeing so many promotions at one time. It's a great opportunity for some movement in our department. And as the mayor has spoken and the City Council, they are very supportive of our police department and the fire department, first responders. And because of the increase in manpower also, there's just a lot of change. It's pretty exciting times for the police department. I was going back and looking, and I think in the last 4 years, we've hired close to 15 police officers in the last 4 years. And I think we've done as many as maybe 8 or 9 promotions. So that's a lot here. So with that, I'm going to put my cheaters on. I'm going to go through and introduce each one of them and tell you a little bit about them. First here is Andrew Champion, who is being promoted from sergeant, being promoted to lieutenant. Andrew Champion has served with the Bettendorf Police Department since 2008. During his 14-year career, he served as a patrol officer, emergency response unit member, traffic enforcement officer, and was appointed to be in charge of the department's traffic bureau when he was promoted to sergeant in June of 2018. He has been trained as an accident investigator, evidence technician, standardized field sobriety instructor, radar, LiDAR instructor, and precision driving instructor. In recent years, he has been tasked with the oversight of several technology-related initiatives, including new body-worn cameras, squad car cameras, standardization of school speed zone signage throughout the city, creation of a drone program, citywide camera installation, and successful implementation of the LPR system. He was a past president of the Bettendorf Peace Officers Association and a founding member of the Bettendorf Officers FOP Lodge. He's obtained both his bachelor's and master's degrees in criminal justice from St. Ambrose University. Lieutenant Champion will be assigned as the new administrative lieutenant. Next to me is Brian Crouch. Brian Crouch has served with the Bettendorf Police Department since 2005. During his 17 and a half years, he served as a patrol officer, field training officer, honor guard member, firearms instructor, emergency response unit team member, and supervisor of the Marksman Observer team, and was assigned to the Investigative Services Division as a detective since 2008, and was more recently promoted to detective sergeant in 2020. He's a member of the Scott County Child Abuse Multidisciplinary Team, Sexual Assault Response Team, and is certified as a child's physical and sexual emotional abuse investigator and child forensic interviewer. He has also received specialized training in arson and death investigations. He obtained his bachelor's degree in law enforcement from Western Illinois University. Lieutenant Crouch will be assigned as the 3rd Shift Patrol Commander. Jeff Buckles. Jeff Buckles has served with the Bettendorf Police Department since 2002. During his 20-year career, he has served as a patrol officer, police liaison officer at Bettendorf High School, on the honor guard, was an emergency response unit member and assistant team leader, and assigned to the Investigative Services Division as a detective since 2006. He has been trained as an evidence technician, as a certified child physical, sexual, emotional abuse investigator, child forensic interviewer, death and homicide investigator, and child death investigator. He's a member of the Scott County Child Abuse Multidisciplinary Team, Sexual Assault Response Team, and as a law enforcement consultant on the statewide Emergency Child Case Review Task Force. He obtained his bachelor's degree in sociology and criminology at University of Northern Iowa. But most importantly, He's a 1992 DARE graduate under my tutelage. Sergeant Buckles will be assigned as the new detective sergeant in the Investigative Services Bureau. Last but not least, for some of you, this is not normally what Kevin Hopkins usually looks like. He's about the most well-groomed you're ever going to see him, and you'll understand why here in a second. Kevin Hopkins has served with the Bettendorf Police Department since 2008. During his 14-year career, he served in the patrol division, spending much time on second and third shifts. In 2017, Kevin was assigned as a special agent with the Quad City Metropolitan Enforcement Group, otherwise known as QC-MEG. While at QC-MEG, he was an undercover narcotics agent and was later appointed as the undercover supervisor. In July of 2019, Kevin was assigned as a detective in the Special Operations Unit and was an original member of the Scott County Special Operations Task Force, which focuses on drug and narcotics investigations. Kevin has been a member of the Emergency Response Unit since 2011, and in 2016, he was assigned as the team leader. He was a grenadier and less lethal chemical munitions instructor, and is a certified firearms instructor and rifle instructor, and was previously a field training officer. Kevin obtained his bachelor's and master's degrees in organizational leadership, both from St. Ambrose University. Sergeant Hopkins will be assigned to the first shift patrol as a sergeant supervisor. So this is just a fine example of all the officers on our police department over the years. All our officers are highly trained, regardless of rank, and highly motivated. I'm very fortunate to be in the position I am because they really make my job easy as police chief, because they go out there and they do this job every day. They're dedicated and they're passionate. And they just go out there and do it. So with that, I would like the family members who are going to come up and pin the badges on, come on up, and you can stand in front of.
Maybe do one at a time.
Here. You guys want to maybe spread out just a little bit? Yeah, spread her out a little bit so you get a little bit more room. All right. So, would you like to introduce who's up here right now? Go ahead.
This is my wife Nicole. This is my son Jackson.
It's my wife Emily, my son Caden, and my daughter Lakin. This is my wife Carmen, and my son Kellen, and my other son Caleb.
My name is Garrett, and my wife Dee is here. We may call her up.
With that, I will have you go ahead and, if you could, for Lieutenant Chapin, go ahead and you can pin the badge on him. We'll put the pressure on one at a time.
Do we have any paramedics in the crowd?
Yeah, that's one.
We may not have them on.
Oh, don't stick him then. All right, go ahead.
Make it easier on her, Buck.
Get that.
Classic. We're gonna have to compromise for a moment, sir.
Is that the one that has got the file, the whole thing goes off? The defendant came Easier to do it when it's on the bed. Easier to do when it's on the bed.
We'll also adapt.
I just want to, I know there's a lot of family members and friends out in the audience that I recognize, related to the four officers up here, and I just very much appreciate your support in coming tonight. I do want to acknowledge, Jeff, if you could, because I believe your grandfather used to be a Bettendorf Reserve officer, is that correct? Auxiliary officer, when we had auxiliary officers. From about 26. Probably 26 years. But from the 1950s to the 70s, maybe?
Late seventies. I think we.
I worked with him
Yeah. Thanks for
a couple weeks ago.
again. Thanks everyone for coming tonight and witnessing this, and I just really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to their future leadership continuing.
I have no idea. You want that side? I'll go over here.
Have to switch it up.
Like a lineup.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
Proud of
Mayor.
you guys, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead, Bobby.
All right, thank you very much. Introducing you to our new firefighters and our promotions for our police sergeants and lieutenants. Now it's time to honor our two-time state champs from Pleasant Valley Soccer, coached by Wayne Ward. They're in the house. Come on up here.
Right here. Slide around, boys. Let everybody in here.
Keep moving.
So it's been an honor since I was elected 11 years ago to have the opportunity to bring before you great champions throughout our community because we have so many. These guys embody the same kinds of principles that make great people in our community, whether it's a police officer, firefighter, a department head, or city council person. They had to learn to work together as a team to achieve their ultimate goal of state title. They have to have skills and work hard in practice so they can contribute to that team. It's a great way to show how wonderfully gifted and hardworking a lot of the young people in our community are. And these guys didn't come by this easy. This is their second straight state title, but this one took a little doing against a great team that had already beaten you once, the Waukee Northwest team. I got a niece and a nephew there. She plays soccer, but he doesn't. So you're all right. We're good. You beat the right team. And girls didn't win it either. So, but this is a great testament to hard work and staying with it, right? You had to win in penalty kicks, right? That means it was tied at the end of the game. We come down to penalty kicks. We had a great save by Jack Kilstrom. Is Jack here? All right. Learning to play soccer a little better than he learned here because it could have stopped two, right? And then it would have made it a little bit easier. But in the end, they win in penalty kicks and get another state title for Pleasant Valley, 2 times state champions in soccer, exhibiting those qualities we talked about that will make you all wonderful people in society, no matter where you choose to be. But we hope it's right here in Bettendorf. We have another one of these, it probably says the same thing, although I don't know what it says. But it does say in recognition of Pleasant Valley Spartans boys soccer team, IHSAA 2022 State Soccer Tournament Class 3A, back-to-back, this one says something new, champions. So congratulations to the Pleasant Valley Spartans. Jack, where do you want to be when your dad takes your picture?
Out of it.
Oh,
Want to do it here?
all guys in back.
All right, yeah, get a
Yeah,
couple
double
of
up,
those.
double up,
Double up.
double up.
We got to get them all, we got to get coaching here.
Move to your left, Bobby.
Gotta come this way?
Yeah. Everybody move left.
Everybody shift this way, 2 steps this way, there you go. All right. You got it?
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations, back-to-back champs. Who wants to speak on behalf of the team? Reese. Reese brought in the trophy. He was waving his arms, ready to get it. You have the floor, Reese.
Thank you guys for being a supportive community. We did this for you guys, back to back.
Oh, awesome. So we got the Ludovic right here. Let's go. Back to work. Way to go, champs. Yes, great to see you. Way to go, Coach. Everybody, congratulations. We will reserve a spot for you next year, same time. Hopefully, we're not jinxing anything, but get after it. Keep working. Thank you. Good job, guys. All right. A lot of those guys with connections to people in this room, not only their parents, but others whose parents work for the city. So congratulations. That was awesome. All right. We've now come to public requests of council. If you're here to be heard on an item not already on tonight's agenda for public hearing, you can approach the podium and you can address council and your request of council. As you do so, please state your name and your address. We'd like to hear from you. Hey, Matt, go right ahead.
Thank you, Bob. Matthew Ledden, 3075 Willowwood Drive in Bettendorf. Where did everyone go? Not sure anybody wants to hear me talk, but I'll go ahead and give it my best shot. So,
They were here for other things. We're here for you. Go right ahead.
well, appreciate it. Thank you. When I moved to Bettendorf in 2001, I was a very thin young attorney working at the law firm of Gallagher, Millage, and Gallagher. The only person I knew in town was Bob Gallagher. Pretty sad, I know, but I did something about it. I joined the Life Fitness Center, and I immediately made new friends. The staff and the members of Life Fitness Center welcomed me with open arms. I immediately started playing on a weekly tennis group, and I joined a competitive tennis team. I still play tennis and work out with the people that I met in 2001. We truly are a family at the Life Fitness Center. It is our second home. That's where I get to talk to most of my friends 3 to 4 times a week. I know everyone's saying, oh, you can just go to the Y. Well, the Y is not the same. I joined the Y for a summer about 8 years ago. It was not a family-friendly atmosphere there. Actually, I take that back. Being at the Y was like being stuck at your in-laws' house for the holidays. It was very crowded, you didn't feel welcome there, and you couldn't wait to leave. Please don't tell my wife I said that. That's why she's not here listening to this. If you take away the Life Fitness Center, you are taking away more than a gym. You are taking away our home. A premier city should not be doing that to its citizens. Now, I was going to talk about the importance of the Life Fitness Center in developing strong tennis programs at both Bettendorf and PV high schools. However, there's somebody here who is much more qualified to talk about that than me. I introduce the high school Class 2A Boys Tennis Coach of the Year, PV tennis coach Randy Brockage.
That's embarrassing. Randy, I will just for the name and address for the record, please.
Thank you. Randy Brockage, and I live at 220 Benton Street in Lee Clare. Thanks, Matt. Good evening, members of the City Council, Mayor Gallagher. and others. City of Bettendorf, a premier city indeed, I agree, with lots of great amenities. I want to personally thank the members of the city council and Mayor Gallagher for some of the tennis stuff they've put in the city, Decker, others. The Pleasant Valley High School, actually our elementary, Forest Grove, and pickleball and tennis courts that were put in the last year are phenomenal. It's a great asset for the city and for the people in that area. Bettendorf High School, having 12 courts, just a wonderful facility. That as well is something that you should be thanked for. In Bettendorf Middle School, both tennis courts and pickleball. So outdoor tennis facilities, I really appreciate what you've done in the past. It's very much appreciated by me and many families. I'm here to express my support of the Bettendorf Life Fitness Center on behalf of so many people in this community, from the very young to our veterans of life. I'm kind of getting close there myself. Basically, the entire community. I'm not worried about the why. In this situation, they have plenty of resources, but I am concerned about the city of Bettendorf and what they currently provide, because I think it's awesome. I'm here because this is so important. I see great value in the fit. I'll call it the fit a lot because I've coached Pleasant Valley tennis for 31 years. Back in the day, that's what my kids always referred to it as, not my children, but my tennis kids. They called it the fit. As well as all the amenities that the city of Bettendorf currently offers this community. I grew up in Bettendorf. I lived at 3446 Spencer Drive, about a mile away from Pleasant Valley. From the time I was 1 till 18, I went to Scott Community College, University of Iowa, and then started teaching and coaching at Pleasant Valley. Mr. Buckles, I used to coach him in wrestling many, many moons ago. So congrats to him, that was awesome. But all the amenities that Bettendorf has are awesome, and I just love to see all the people that get involved in these activities, and basically, especially those that are lifetime fitness activities. I went to the University of Iowa and I was a phys ed major. I've spent most of my time at Pleasant Valley as a special ed teacher, and now I work with at-risk students. But my degree was in phys ed, and so that's where I got my, I learned to play pickleball actually. Before pickleball became really popular in the 1980s, it was a thing that I learned at University of Iowa. Anyway, I love tennis. I appreciate tennis, pickleball, and all the other lifetime fitness activities. They add quality of life to all of us. I also have an appreciation for the other amenities that the FIT offers. I know that it's more than just, the tennis courts there. There's a lot of stuff. I read an article recently that talked about a potential purchase from the Y of the fitness center, and I remember reading about a gentleman who said he went there for 25 years, and it was his social place. And so they do a lot of great stuff there. They add quality of life to all of us. But again, I have appreciation for the other amenities the FIT offers. I'm joined by the Bettendorf High School coaches. All three are here. We are in this together. During the season, we compete, but now we're on the same team, and I appreciate them being here. I'm joined by them and other people who are tennis enthusiasts, tennis supporters, and I appreciate all of you. It's good stuff. It's just lifetime fitness activity, and pickleball now just becoming more and more popular just is a nice blend with tennis. Anyway, all the people who use and have used the FIT for so many decades are concerned about the community possibly losing the FIT. I don't know that anything's been determined yet, but it's enough of a chance that I thought it was important for me to come and talk, and that's why some others are here as well. Some may not understand the value the FIT has. The FIT, to me, and I think Matt used this word too, but I have it sprinkled all over here, gem. I think it's a gem. I think it's really awesome. It's the facilities, the location, the accessibility to so much of the community is just awesome. But I'm very concerned about the potential loss of indoor tennis and pickleball at the Fit. Plus those other things. I'm not here as a fitness instructor or anything else they do there. I'm a tennis coach, but I know that it offers more than just tennis. Let's see, amenities. Right now, you have a gym that meets the various fitness needs of so many in this community. I think of the saying that starts a bird in the hand, and I think about if the Y would purchase the Fit, and I'm pretty certain their plan would be to do away with tennis. I don't know where that space is going to come from other than that. I think about what if it's all taken away? Well, what about, and on a day like today, when I came in, it was probably 93, 94 degrees. I think about all those kids that then can go indoors today, but I also think about the rainy days. They run a lot of group lessons and clinics for little kids, younger kids, older kids, adults, and the fitness center, just as far as being an indoor facility, just really, really helps a lot of people stay active. I first heard about the WISE plans from concerned parents of mine. At Pleasant Valley High School, we've averaged over 50 players a year for my 31 years. We had 50 on the dot this year. Last year was 45. We're usually closer to like 60, and I don't cut, so we tend to get a lot of kids out. But I learned from the article in the Quad City Times on May 26th about the plans. I learned, some of the people were interviewed about how important the Fit was to them. And I thought, I got to be part of something to hopefully not have that happen. Because I just think it's so valuable. It's just such a value. I've learned that many others have expressed their great concerns as well. I'm passionate about tennis and other lifetime fitness activities because I understand the importance of these gems in a community. It's what makes a community. It's all the great things that all of you have helped the city of Bettendorf offer to your citizens. From the families that are part of the PV tennis program, I chose 3 responses when I mentioned the situation. I just sent something out because usually I'd be with players tonight on Tuesday night tennis, and I had to be here tonight, so I sent something out. I just said, if you want to respond, if the fitness center was important to you or your children, send me something. So I'm just gonna have 3 of those. They're relatively short. I'm sad to hear about the possibility of losing Life Fitness Center for tennis. My boys have been playing there for about 8 years, off and on and off, and my daughter has taken lessons there as well. Hope it continues to be an option for our community. Another one, her son has been playing there since he was 4. His dad, aunt, and grandma, and myself all played there for years. What a tragedy. I will try to make the city council meeting. Hopefully a lot of people will show up to support. And the third one, all the family have used the LFC in the years we've lived here. Their son was planning to take indoor classes this winter. I'll likely do drop-in cardio tennis in the fall. My husband always buys court time since our insurance covers health club visits. Thanks for advocating for this to stay. Those are 3 of the parents responding to my email. I have others, but
Coach, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. I should have done a better job in asking you to keep comments to 2 to 3 minutes. Would you just get to your point to wrap it up so we can give other people an opportunity?
Sure thing.
That's on me. I didn't tell you beforehand. Please don't take offense.
No problem. I understand.
Thanks.
I said, look, I understand why the Y would love to have the Fit. I understand. But so would the residents of Bettendorf. In this particular situation, I see the residents of Bettendorf versus the Y, it seems like. No disrespect intended to anybody, but who do you support, the residents or the Y? The city has many great amenities to be proud of. It should be, as it should as a premier city. It's got a great library. It's got a great museum and fitness center and golf course. And I've heard from some people that some people think that if the fit were to go for sale to the Y, that people could just go to the QCTC. And to be honest with you, the QCTC, the Quad City Tennis Club in Moline, Illinois, is a place that has new ownership within the last year or so. He has a lot of money. He's put a lot of money into it. It's a really, really, really nice facility, but it's also a very, very expensive facility where it's already kept kids, youth especially, from being there in programs for tennis, for youth tennis. And it's just like, for example, if we were to do away with the family museum, we wouldn't say, well, you can just go to Moline, they have a nice one. The city of Bettendorf right now has a really gem of a facility. I hope you'll support it, and thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Nice to see you. Anybody else wish to be heard on this topic? Please approach the podium. State your name and your address. We'd like to hear from you. Let's keep our comments to 2 to 3 minutes and try not to be repetitive, but we understand you'd like to be heard.
William Carter, 5837 Lewis Court, Bettendorf, Iowa. I'm here as a parent. Actually, my daughter was at the Life Fitness Center because at 5:30 they couldn't play tennis out there at Bettendorf Middle School because it was 100 degrees. My son, at 8 o'clock this morning, I dropped him off there at tennis. That my kids love tennis. Even the little one sitting there with the green cast on his arm. And the only reason he's not playing is because of that. I have another son who's 12 who plays on and off, specifically in the winter because he's playing baseball. Now, I did some research looking at the Bettendorf Park and Rec activity site. There are 16 sessions here at Bettendorf out of the Life Fitness Center for tennis. There are only 2 sessions at the Quad City Tennis Center. Okay, the Quad City Tennis Center is $175 for two sessions. I got it up right off their website. For someone like my daughter or Ben, my middle child, and for Nate, where we're paying now $78. And I heard there was a guy, somebody wrote an article in the Quad City Times about, yeah, we can go to the Quad City Tennis Center. Obviously, they don't have more than one kid. I don't know this, I didn't read the article, but it takes 12 minutes to get there. So imagine at 5:30, you gotta take your kid down to there, then you gotta take your other kid up to TBK to do baseball practice, and your other kid to Deer Creek to play T-ball or softball. That is, the Bettendorf Life Fitness Center is in a great location. And speaking of TBK, why didn't you guys put a playground up there when you planned it? But I digress. I was up here 2 years ago talking about this same issue. You need to make the right decision. Think about the kids. Granted, there's probably financial advantages for being somewhere else, but my kids did soccer camp there, baseball camp there, basketball camp. John won a pickleball tournament pre-COVID there. I mean, there's a lot of things. There's a lot for the kids. And I would recommend that maybe the city council needs to come up and watch one of the tennis lessons that are given up there. My kids adore their coaches, Kevin, Sarah, Betty, and Dan. And actually, one of the coaches, Kevin, John is playing travel baseball, so he's not there. But he came up to me and said, how's John doing? I haven't seen him. And he had played tennis since this winter and asked all about him. And then also about Ben. Those coaches are terrific. My daughter loves Sarah. She's a great role model for my little girl. There's more to this tennis than meets the eye. It's more than just dollars. It's part of Bettendorf's family structure. Now, I work at the Arsenal, and I get a lot of military coming in. And I ask them when they come, it's like, hey, do you got family? And once they do, I'm saying, you gotta move to Bettendorf because we got all the things kids need. And I mentioned that tennis. So before you make a decision on this, go visit the tennis lessons. Go see what the kids are doing. I mean, they're packed. Right now, there's 16 sessions, like I said. 4 of them have waiting lists. 3 of them have only 1 opening. 3 of them only have 2 openings. and then the rest are between 3 and 4, and that's for more of the advanced players. There's a lot more. So before you jump at the YMCA taking over, think about what Bettendorf is about. Think about the families. Think about the kids. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. All right, anybody else wish to be heard? Step right up.
Yep. Randy Childers, 3050 Southampton Drive in Bettendorf. Good evening, everyone. The city of Bettendorf, a premier city. The definition of premier, first importance, leading, foremost, second to none. The word premier appears in the 21-22 budget document 33 times. Being it appears so often must mean the city of Bettendorf takes great pride in the meaning of the word to build a city second to none. Page 27 of the 21-22 budget. Our vision is the city of Bettendorf is a premier city in which to live. The city of Bettendorf is the most livable community for all families, rich educational, cultural, and recreational opportunities where we enjoy a vibrant riverfront and a growing competitive business environment. We take pride in our community. Based on everything I've said so far, the city of Bettendorf is committed to be the best, a premier city. 80% of Americans get up in the morning and choose to do the same thing they did the day before. They choose to drink the same coffee, to eat the same type of foods, listen to the same radio program, watch the same TV show. They have their favorite grocery store, they have their favorite department store, they have the same tea time every weekday and weekend. They have the routine of using the same hair salon, using the same business to have a manicure or a pedicure. All of these routines have been done for 10, 20, and 30 years. They think about their favorite thing to do every day, every week, and every weekend, or have a standing appointment for the last 20 years or so. How would you feel if this was taken away from you? And yes, the citizens make a choice to use a fitness center on a regular basis. Some use it every day. 130,000 citizens made a choice to use a fitness center in the last fiscal year. Those people were not just residents of Bettendorf. They also came from Davenport, Eldridge, and surrounding communities. There were 32,000 rounds of golf played at Palmer Hills. 48,000 people used Splash Landing in the last fiscal year. If you take these numbers and do the math on the losses of each amenity, you get the following results. Palmer Hills is being subsidized at the rate of $4.50 per round of golf. Splash Landing is subsidized at the rate of $4.72 per user. The Life Fitness Center is being subsidized at the rate of $2.70 per user. Yes, the subsidy of the fitness center is nearly half of the other two amenities mentioned. A fair amount of fitness center members are of the older age group. They have their friends and meet on a daily basis at the fitness center to exercise in some manner and then head off to coffee or breakfast. There are also a large number of families who use the facility and bring their children for tennis clinics, baseball practice, and so on. A newly built, the Suites of Bettendorf, just a few blocks away. What a resource for the fitness center makes for this community. Remember from the start of my presentation, City of Bettendorf, a premier city. A premier city does not eliminate the amenities which is provided to the citizens of the community. The city of Bettendorf should be doing the exact opposite in increasing the amenity offering to its citizens, thus not selling or closing the Life Fitness Center. In closing, I ask, why would you want to take away the Life Fitness Center from the community? Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Childers. Just a quick reminder, I screwed up again. There will be no outbursts, there's no clapping, there's no hooting. This is a very well-run meeting. Come on, people. I should have reminded you, but use your heads. All right, who is next?
Hi, I'm Romulus Rosario. My tennis buddies and golf buddies call me Rom. Most of my friends do. I'm just going to give you my personal story about tennis and what Life Fitness Center means to me. I think you all read my letter. Thank you for putting it in the City Hall records.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, I also play golf. I mentioned it, Decker, last time I was here, that I'm a very loyal supporter of the First Tee program and live within walking distance of the golf course where they have the First Tee program.
Ron, what's your
Red Hawk.
address? Did you give that to us yet?
Yes, 5329 North Thornwood,
Thank you very much.
right across the street from Red Hawk Golf Course.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Ron.
So, anyhow, my personal story, I started playing tennis when I was 11, back in 1976. Played at the Quid City Racket Club, where Life Fitness Center is now, every day and evening. In the winters till midnight. The chiropractic students at Palmer needed the money, so they let us play. My brother and I played till midnight. Long story short, there I got good enough within 3 years to become #1 ranked in the state of Iowa for my age group in 1979. Unfortunately, Sevi Ballesteros, I saw him win the British Open in 1979. And I was hooked. It's this 23-year-old guy, long hair, good-looking guy, hits the ball all over the place, misses the fairways. Nothing like how my dad tried to teach me. He's banging his golf clubs on the ground. So I ended up playing golf for a long time, and I quit tennis in 1983. And by the way, Matt Fitzpatrick, you all know he won our national golf championship. His caddy, Billy Foster, was the last man to caddy for the late Sevi Ballesteros. We missed watching him play. You're missing out. He was the best. But anyway, again, long story short, I got really good at golf. I got my first hole-in-one at Palmer Hills, number 13, which the city decided to renovate and destroy. Thanks a lot. I made a couple of Hazley Cup teams on the Iowa side, the last of which was 2016, where I got another hole-in-one at Emi's that Thanksgiving holiday. But the following year, 2017, I watched Federer beat Nadal at the Australian Open. I said, you know what? A guy that can come off a knee surgery, not play for 6 months, just because he's got a new, bigger racket, can win the Australian Open against his nemesis. Hell, maybe a 52-year-old guy could take up the game again. So I got on eBay, bought an RF 97, and haven't touched a racket since 1983, a wooden-headed Jack Kramer autograph, and I started beating against a backboard. And lo and behold, met up with Sean McCabe, my old high school tennis coach, Larry Jacobson. There's a whole community of people playing tennis. And unlike golf, which I've had a tee time at Palmer Hills every single year for the last 20 odd years with Tom X, who unfortunately passed away last winter. So there is a social aspect with golf, but nothing like tennis. What I found out with tennis, these people have been playing for years. They accepted me, took me back in, and Matt and I play on the same tennis teams with Randy. There's a 65 and over group that just 8 of them that we play with. They've just won the Iowa District Championship, and they're going on to play in Kansas City. I'm only 58, so I can't qualify with them. But if Amy Castro and David Wedekin keep doing a good job at Genesis Sports Medicine, I'd like to play with them someday. But I play Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and every Sunday during the winter at Life Fitness.
At the Life Fitness Center, wrap it
Life
into the
Fitness,
Life
yep.
Fitness Center for me if you can.
Yep. And then golf, I only play like once every 6-7 weeks anymore. So the usage rate, as Randy said, is far higher for us tennis players. So if I were to lose, I would lose the Life Fitness Center. I'd have to drive to Iowa City, 45 minutes away, or Clinton, 45 minutes away, and the Quad City Tennis Club from the west side of Davenport. That's no cakewalk either in icy conditions. So please consider these personal stories. Mine's not the only one. One of the guys I started playing tennis with in 2018, I work at John Deere. That shut down. Me and Nicholas Patrick played every single day. Little 10-year-old kid and me, and that was a blast. He's got his own story. I'm sure you guys know. So please, I took up tennis again on a whim. Please don't get rid of the Life Fitness Center on a whim. It does mean a lot to a lot of people. And I encourage anyone else who's got a similar story. I'm sure you got better stories. Please chime in and let everyone know what you'd be missing out if they took away the Life Fitness Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rosario. Anybody else wish to be heard? On public requests of council, keep it to a couple of minutes. Let's try not to repeat. and we'll limit and won't accept the clapping or outbursts or other things. Keep it professional. Yes, sir.
Good evening, everybody. Carl Steuben, 2247 Fairhaven Road in Davenport. But I teach science at this last year at Bettendorf Middle School, and I was the head girls tennis coach there. We just got done celebrating a state title with the Pleasant Valley boys soccer team. And I just coached the third place doubles team state tournament this last spring. I don't know if we could have done it without Life Fitness. The weather this spring, you guys all lived it. It's the worst spring we've probably ever had. We did have to sneak in there a couple times. One time I paid the bill out of pocket. It was like $44 to get in there for an hour and a half. I mean, it's just so reasonable. I wasn't planning on talking. Randy mentioned a couple things that I just wanted to reiterate. I actually coached with Randy last spring at Pleasant Valley. One thing is that if people go back to the process that, well, hey, we still have this other facility in Moline, we don't need this facility in Bettendorf. I grew up in Dubuque playing as a kid, and right when I got to high school, this incredible indoor facility that we had, 6 indoor courts, was taken away, became a recycling center, and it happened in the middle of the night, and nobody saw it coming, and it was gone. And our only option after that was just one indoor court that somebody owned and charged a ton of money for it, but had no other option. And left us hanging in regards to that. And we just having that, lack of options made it very difficult. Another thing is the facility itself, not a lot of many facilities can be used by, we talk about the YMCA taking over, whatever their plans are, I'm not sure what they are. I've heard daycare, I've heard a variety of other things. And I know there's a need for that, but the facility requirements for that are broad. The facility that we have right now at Life Fitness, if it was to go away, I mean, you can't just go and find another place to play. From a facility standpoint, the requirements needed, it is built for that. And it will be impossible to replace, I think, at least in the near term. So that was just a major concern of mine. I was just struck by that just coming over here when I was driving. Outside of that, I have nothing to add. I just wanted to reiterate those two main points that Randy had made earlier.
Thank you, Coach Steuben. Anybody else wish to be heard on public requests of council? Anybody? All right, we'll close public requests of council. Thank you all for your impassioned requests tonight. We appreciate that. Let's move on to our first public hearing. This is with regard to the 2022 sidewalk repair program. We heard all about this last night. It's an annual program. Does any council person have a question on this program before we move right into the public hearing? I'm not going to ask for a presentation. Okay. Michelle, did we publish a notice of public hearing?
Yes, we did, Your Honor, and I do have affidavit of publication.
Did we receive any written correspondence with regard to this?
No, we did not.
All right, let's open the public hearing on the 2022 sidewalk repair program. Anybody here wish to be heard on this item? All right, we'll close that public hearing and move immediately to the resolution. Councilmember Brown, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution approving the plan specifications and form of contract for the 2022 sidewalk repair program. Move approval of this resolution.
Second. Any discussion here? Again, very yearly program. Okay. Michelle, please call the roll.
Brown.
Aye.
Connors.
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
Baden.
Frank and Scott, you'll have to unmute if you want to vote. We'd like you to vote. I see Scott's unmuted. Frank?
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Webster.
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
All right, we moved to a public hearing with regard to Stafford Creek. We also had a presentation on this. This is going in and working on only our 3 intakes that we talked about last night in the presentation. And again, I'm not going to ask for a presentation due to time, but if anybody has questions for Brian before we go to the public hearing, he certainly will answer those. All right, I see none. We were up to date last night. Mr. Morlock, your city engineer, did a nice job. Michelle, did we publish notice of this public hearing?
Yes, we did, Your Honor, and I do have affidavit of publication.
Did we receive any written correspondence with regard to this?
No, we did not.
All right, let's open the public hearing with regard to the Stafford Creek project. Anybody here wish to be heard on Stafford Creek? Okay, we'll close that public hearing. Move to the resolution. Councilmember Nauman, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have a resolution approving the plan specifications and form of contract for the Stafford Creek Storm Sewer Repairs Project. I move approval of the resolution.
Second. Any discussion on the Stafford Creek project? All right, seeing none, Michelle, please call the roll.
Brown,
Aye.
Connors,
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer,
Aye.
Baden,
Aye.
Webster,
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
That's twice I jumped on Adamson thinking that we were ending in Webster as I look to my right, and those two are not with us. Sorry about that, Mr. Adamson. We have another public hearing. This is with regard to the Federal Transit Administration, Section 5310, Federal Assistance. Brian, this is our yearly allocation with regard to city bus work.
Yes, it is.
Any questions for Brian before we open this public hearing? All right, Michelle, did we publish notice of this public hearing?
Yes, we did, Your Honor, and I do have affidavit of publication.
How come it's signed by somebody other than the last one? I'm just kidding. Came from a different department, didn't it? You weren't ready for that question.
No, I wasn't.
All right. Did we receive any written correspondence with regard to our application for federal
No.
transit funds?
No, we did not.
One would think probably not. Let's open the public hearing with regard to our Federal Transit Administration funds. Anybody here wish to be heard on this item? Okay, we'll close that public hearing and move to a resolution. Councilmember Connors, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have a resolution approving the fiscal year 2022 application for Federal Transit Administration, Section 5310 Financial Assistance in the amount of $50,609 to be used for ADA operations by the city's transit system. I move approval of the resolution.
Second.
Any discussion here on the application for transit funds? Michelle, would you please call the roll?
Brown,
Yes.
Connors,
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer,
Aye.
Baden,
Aye.
Webster,
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
Also unanimously passed. We have a second reading 3 times in a row, different ones, but this is going to be for Councilmember Nauman, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do have the second reading of an ordinance amending the Bettendorf, Iowa zone map for 1200 Devils Glen Road, R1 Single Family Residence District to R4 Medium Density Multifamily Residence District. I move approval of the ordinance at the second reading.
Second.
Any discussion here? Obviously, we had a presentation, then we put it off. We had another presentation, then we had a meeting. We had the first vote. All right, everybody's tuckered out on your discussion. Michelle, please call the roll.
Brown,
Aye.
Connors,
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer,
Aye.
Baden,
Aye.
Webster,
Nay.
Adamson.
Aye.
All right, 6-1, as it did the first time through. We move to a second reading for Councilmember Sexer, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have the second reading of an ordinance amending the city code of the city of Bettendorf, Iowa, section 8-2-6, paren E, relating to the city's sewer meter credit program. I move approval of the ordinance at its second reading.
Second.
Any discussion here? All right, Michelle, please call the roll.
Brown,
Aye.
Connors,
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer,
Aye.
Baden,
Aye.
Webster,
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
That second reading unanimously passed, as did the first. Councilmember Connors, another second reading, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have the second reading of an ordinance amending the city code of the city of Bettendorf, Iowa by repealing city code section 7-1-1, solicitation in public areas. I move approval of the ordinance at its second reading.
Second.
Is there any further discussion on this second reading? Okay, Michelle, please call the roll.
Brown,
Aye.
Connors,
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer,
Aye.
Baden,
Aye.
Webster,
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye.
We have come to our consent agenda. This is something we got the opportunity to talk about again last night. Any council member have anything on consent they wish to ask a question about before we move it?
No, sir.
Excuse me? What?
Bill had a question last night that I think Jeff could answer relative to the amendment.
Oh, yeah, the amendment was in front of us.
Correct.
And agreed to. We have the first amendment to the development agreement in writing at our chair, consistent with the request Bill made last night. The developer's in the audience, and we didn't have any trouble with that. Correct, Councilor Curran?
That's correct.
Okay. Jeff, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
No, just reference, if you will, the notes in front of you, and as Mayor Gallagher stated, there's members of the development team if there are any questions. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, anything else on consent before we move it? I'd like to entertain a motion to approve consent.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on any items there? Debate? All right, seeing none, Michelle, would you call the roll on consent?
Brown.
Aye.
Connors.
Aye.
Nauman.
Aye.
Sexer.
Aye.
Baden.
Aye.
Webster.
Aye.
Adamson.
Aye. All right, we have approved each and every item on tonight's consent agenda. We move to our adjournment. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
Thank you very much. We stand adjourned. Good work, people. Appreciate